Welcome back to another Cowboys and Coffee podcast. D, it's me and you back together again. Do you have your coffee today at all?
I had like 7 cups. I had about 7 cups, and 1 cup we made this morning on napkins. Don't ever do that.
No.
Don't ever do that. I'm never going to do that again. I'll walk 10 miles and get filters next time I ever do that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not exactly a go-to. I definitely have my Starbucks, not an official sponsor at the moment, but we're not against it. But yeah, I had to have my fix. All right, listen, we're 11 games into this season. I could not have imagined a scenario where the Cowboys lose the first game, and you're going to tell me Dak's going to be out for 5 games. That the Cowboys are 8-3. It's shocking. And the manner in which they've won the last couple of games to me has been impressive. Not just beating the tar out of the Vikings, but fighting back and beating the Giants after a lackadaisical first half, losing the turnover battle, stupid penalties, and they still won. I'll take it. I'll take 8-3.
I'll take it too. I will take it because we can't do nothing about it anyways.
Right. I feel like this team so far has a much different feel than last year's team down the stretch. If you look at like last year, starting in the first game in November, they lost to the Broncos 30-16. A couple weeks later, they lost to the Chiefs 19-9. That was an awful game. They lost the following week on Thanksgiving 36-33 to the Raiders. And then the second last game of the year, day after New Year's, they lost to the Cardinals 25-22. All games that they should have won or at least played a lot better. This team doesn't feel like that team. It feels definitely different. What's going on with this team right now? Where are they as a squad? What's the stretch run look like for the Cowboys?
Well, it's led by their defense, Mr. Parsons, who could not only being defensive player of the year, but MVP too. Okay, MVP too, both. I like Aaron Donald, Hall of Famer, but Mr. Parsons is going to be, because now you got Dak back. How about those third down numbers, points numbers, and I think third down points numbers and yardage. Now they're talking about controversy, Cooper Rush. And by the way, shout out to CD Lamb on missed routes, running his own gig, made Dak even worse looking. Okay, so Cooper Rush, nice guy, good backup, did a good job when he was in there. But Dak running the show, me and Spencer used to say it all the time. We could score 40 points a game. And here's 8-3 scoring since Dak's been back. It's 36. They had 28 the other day with the missed field goal, and 21 points the second half against that defense. And we're still complaining about the offensive play calling. Think about that, what that means.
Right.
Everybody you see on Facebook or on the Dallas websites, we all talk about the same thing. More, I don't know what's he doing the first half of all these games. It's chronic. We should be up 3 touchdowns in the first half. Then the defense goes, okay, Parsons, my guy who I love from Atlanta, Fowler.
Dante Fowler.
Done a good job, very quietly, 6 sacks. Armstrong has been there. You let these other guys get after the quarterback. That's what they want. That's what they want. They thrive off that. Now, let's get back to reality of it right now. We got Parsons. Anytime we can take him out of the game to rest him, take him out so we have him for the playoffs. If we clinch that last game, do not play him.
Well, what if the NFC East and essentially the NFC home field advantage is on the line? You got to play him.
Oh, so what I'm trying to tell you, Brett, the Philadelphia Eagles, I know they're a nice little coochie record, but guess what? Why do I feel something stinks down the road? Why do I have a funny feeling that coaching staff is going to collapse? I'm saying it now.
It'd be nice to see. The Cowboys defense last year through 11 games had 19 takeaways, which we all thought was just fantastic, and Diggs was picking the ball off, and numbers that were really impossible to replicate, mostly because they don't throw at him anymore. They throw at Anthony Brown all the time. Now, 19 takeaways last year, 24 sacks through 11 games. Through the same amount of games this year, 16 takeaways, so 3 less, but 45 sacks.
Right.
Extra 21 sacks in the season
Yep.
so far.
Yep.
So this is a defense that pressures the quarterback. This is a defense that if they can stop you on first down or second down and you have to throw the ball, you're in trouble. They have a lot of guys. You called Sam Williams before the season. And listen, you want to go back, listen to some of those podcasts. You called Sam Williams, even in the draft preview, as a guy you wanted, and he's been a nut. He's incredible.
And he doesn't even, I watch tape of him all the time. He just going out there with a focus. He's not going over there knowing the game yet. He's focused to get after that guy. And that's fine. But the other part of it is knowing how to get there in a sensible way. So your energy is not wasted out there.
Right.
I mean, once he gets it, I want him to get it learning in the playoffs. In the playoffs. I'm telling you, I said it before. They need to start knocking these quarterbacks out of the game. Drag them, whatever you got to do, snap them, whatever you got to knock them out of the game. We got to go back to old-fashioned football, intimidating the quarterback. Even you throw the flag.
Listen,
go for it. I didn't say dirty. I didn't say dirty.
Well, the remaining schedule is nothing to be scared of. And let's just look at the offensive lines. Indianapolis next week, Sunday night. Their line has been maybe the worst in the NFL this year. Following that, Houston, both home games, both bad offensive lines that have a lot of room to improve. They should beat up on those teams bad. And then you have Jacksonville, who's been very inconsistent, another not so great offensive line. Listen, those should be 3 wins in a row to bring you to 11-3, and down the stretch, anything happens. The Eagles at home on Christmas Eve, if you beat them, then you've got Tennessee, who can run the ball, but you know what? They might have a physical freak in Derrick Henry, but you have your own physical freak in Micah Parsons. And then at the Washington Commanders, who don't scare me at all. They stink.
Here's the thing. We're going to play the teams that the Eagles just played.
Right. And the Giants have gotten to play.
They just played them. And by the way, Tennessee, let them go for 145. Keep them out of the end zone. Okay. That's the name of the game. Statistics is a great number. I love that. But the best statistic is what you give up per game.
Yep.
What are you giving up points wise? Yeah. And by the way, the Giants had 300 yards of total offense, and about 40 or 50 of it came on the last drive of garbage. Yeah, that's how bad. And let me just, I know we don't touch on other teams. The other teams don't have good quarterbacks. Hurts is only as good as that little fake of his.
Right. They run the read option a lot. There.
How's Brown doing lately? How's AJ Brown doing?
Hey man, Devontae, they've both been silent very recently.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
A lot of questions still to answer for them.
Yep.
No, they better figure it out. Listen, Dallas is the number 1 scoring defense. They're only allowing 17 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
And now that Dak is back, that puts a lot of pressure on opposing defenses. You've seen Dak start to really start to get in his own the last couple of weeks. He's throwing these guys open. You know, Gallup really came into his own last week. CD has really started to pick it up. CD has over 800 yards, and he played 5 games with a backup quarterback.
Right.
The ball.
Right.
Well, he's going to get 14 yards.
Let's go back to play calling. That first half we're watching, yelling at the play calling. They're running past plays like I used to do to Cecil Little and Craig Morton in gym class in 7th grade. Just run past them. I used to tell Billy Pila, just go back and throw it deep. I'll run past those guys. Let them argue with each other. They don't have guys to run past people. They really don't. CD won't. Now, I know you can do a little move and get up the field and be open. I understand all that. But until they started a crossing pattern and going crossing the field, wasn't there? We called, they must have heard it. Our room must have been bugged.
Made a lot of changes at halftime, offensively and defensively. And they started crossing routes, crossing patterns. They started to really create windows for Dak to throw to. And they started to pick apart that defense. They were missing both their top cornerbacks. Not that their top cornerbacks scare me, in the slightest. But listen, excuse me, they went out there. They played hard. I need another coffee. Went out there. They played hard second half, and they whooped them. They whooped the Giants. You got Ferguson hurdling over players, Hendershot, Henderson, Peyton Hendershot, these guys, the tight ends they use very well. They use those 3 tight ends, including Schultz, and they make it difficult on teams because that gives them incredible versatility to pass catch or run block.
And like I said before, I've been a tight end guy since the 70s. I love tight ends. I can name all of them. I remember watching John Mackey as a kid, who was the big uh route runner, smooth game breaker tight end. I mean, Ditka put it on the map. He made it on the map. Don't get me wrong. But John Mackey was 6'2", I think 240, and could run like just incredible route runner, smart, intelligent man. Did a lot for the Players Association. He was one of the guys, like I fell in love with those guys. And then the Cowboys having those guys come along, it was such an awesome position to be a blocker and catching the ball. You know what I mean? You could block and block the defensive ends and stuff, you know. Listen, everybody says the thing: if we run the ball, we win. Simple.
That's a great point to bring up, because I think we're seeing the natural evolution of the offense where Pollard is the lead back and Zeke looked fantastic as a change of pace back. He looked awesome, 92 yards, pitching the ball out to him, getting him on the edge, cutting back. He looked great in that role. It's like he had his legs back. And remember, he's still dealing with the knee injury. He looks perfect in that role. Makes the offense that much more difficult to stop when you can have either one in. You say, okay, now Zeke is healthy. Zeke's getting his 10, 12 touches a game. But now it's difficult to stop them. And then Pollard comes in when you're tired. And Pollard's been beating you up since the first. And he gets a little crease and he's 12 yards down the field. They're tough when they run the ball. They don't need Dak throwing 48 times a game. They don't. They need to run the football. And if you take anything from the Packers' loss a couple weeks ago, it's even if you're behind, you stick to the game plan, you run the football, you can take care of things. That's what brought them back in the Packers back in that game. And I think that's what's burying teams for the Cowboys. They can run the football, they can take the legs out of your defense. And then if our defense gets stops, which they do, then you're in a bad spot because you're behind and you have to go pass the ball against that defense and that defensive line.
Well, here's what the running game does. Let's take Tennessee. Tennessee has a good defense. They play within the games. It's time of possession. Teams win time of possession, usually win the game. Now, what makes Dallas more explosive is that they can get the pass play out. Tennessee can't.
Right.
So they're happy to win at 22-19. They're happy to winning like that. So the Cowboys can, again, Dak, you're seeing what Dak can do, what he did last year. They had the #1 scoring offense last year.
And what's crazy, I think, is they're still going to get Tyron Smith back, and they'll have him slide to left tackle. Tyler Smith will kick down a guard. I can imagine them even being better than they are now. And you have depth because Jason Peters is still your backup. McGovern's going to be your backup. They're pretty well set offensively, knock on wood, to make a run where they can hang in. Even now, Tyler Smith kicked out the left guard. McGovern did well. Smith went to left tackle. McGovern's done well. Has done decently. Yes. Left guard, yes. Serviceable. Yep. It's a different beast with Dak there at quarterback and healthy. They have to we've said this before, because Kellen Moore doesn't have a true system, it's just him, it's his system, there's no bread and butter to go to when things get difficult, which can make things feel like you're in a rut. It's like, well, what's he doing here? Well, the thing he's doing is just kind of going with the flow, like whatever's working, he just runs with. If it's not working, we try and figure it out. And you can go through those weird stances, those weird times you're like,
well, I remember years ago when the 49ers were famous for their scripted plays. They would script the first 35, 40 plays. It was an incredible system. It was true learning the game of football. I think he gets a feel for what he wants to do. And I understand that. You can't complain as far as the #1 offense last year and scoring 34 points a game. Is how you do it. That's what I'm saying. I just think that you tweak a little bit, run the ball a little bit more, and get ahead the first half and let them other teams play catch up coming out in the third quarter. your defense knows what's going to be called and how to play. They work on each other. The schemes work for each other. Time of possession, that's what you want to win. Dak with 25 passes to 30 max. That's it for 244 to 255. 2 touchdowns. I'm happy.
Right.
I don't need five touchdowns out of him. I need 2 touchdowns and 33 minutes of the clock. Super Bowl, bye. Because the more you put the other person's quarterback at risk with that defense, with that pass rush, multiple, because you're going to have 3 guys with 10 sacks. Well, 2 more guys are going to have 10 sacks. Because Armstrong has 8 now. He's got 8.
Which is huge considering Randy Gregory has not played for weeks. Nothing.
That's all that can be said. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah.
That was crisis averted.
Right.
Last game he played was October 2nd. How many sacks do you have again this year? 2.
2. Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Stop me if we've heard that one before. Even Dante Fowler has 5 sacks. Sam Williams has 3 sacks.
Yeah.
Osa Digizua has 2 sacks.
Yep.
It's tough to get on the field with some of the talent they have. And we have to talk about, speak of talent get on the field, Damone Clark, who's played that middle linebacker position incredibly well, considering he just had spinal fusion surgery in the offseason, had no preseason, had no offseason. They drafted him and they're like, okay, we'll stash him till next year. And they said up front, it's possible he could play later in the year. He's not just playing, he's played tremendously well in this system.
You know, we don't understand it's live games here. And that these are not scrimmages. The speed of the game is right there, and he's right there already. Yeah.
And he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
They have a embarrassment of riches. Anthony Barr's not even playing.
Right, they're resting his knee.
Jabril Cox, because Jabril Cox is a tremendous linebacker against the pass. He's maybe not stout against the run, but he's still a talented player who could really play in this league. And I think, having that as another guy, okay, well, if you need some depth, you have depth there too.
Well, they got football players who know the game. They're being well coached to play their positions as well. Again, here's the Achilles heel. 13 penalties in your backyard. I'm telling you, I can't miss at the War Memorial. Sorry. I mean, everybody's due to have a bad shooting game. I get that. I understand the reality of it. But not in your own ballpark. How do you make penalties? And then next time that Watkins holds, this is what you do after the game. You give him his walker. Maybe he does it again.
It's the second.
Because Jimmy Johnson would have done that. You know that.
It's the second time he's been.
JJ would have done that. Yeah, he would have been cut.
Yeah, and they have too much talent there potentially to be keeping guys who make dumb penalties.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not.
Grab him, and it was obvious. We didn't question those calls. Yep.
So I guess the question then becomes: we have the game this weekend off. This is coming out on Sunday. Recording this Saturday. Sunday we're off. We get to just relax, baby. We got to win.
We're Packer fans. We're going to be a Packer fan.
Right. I'll be rooting for them to beat the Eagles and go for it and go from there. Next week against the Colts. I told you this before. Good teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. We're like, oh, they play stinky teams. Okay, well, you still have to win the games.
Yeah, this is the NFL. You know what I mean? And the breaks come if you end up playing with a backup. What's going on with Arizona? That's another. Who's going to be? It looks like Sean Payton's going to be going there.
So this is an interesting thing. No, it's not the Cowboys, but it kind of is Cowboys because we've talked about Sean Payton potentially being the next Cowboys if Mike McCarthy doesn't get something done. They got to win at least a playoff game. They have to make the NFC Championship game. If not, I think McCarthy is out of town. That being said, if they do and they continue playing the way they've been playing, I don't see why the Cowboys can't go wherever they want to go, which would leave Sean Payton out of Dallas. I think, to me, if I'm Sean Payton, you say Arizona, I say the Chargers. You got Justin Herbert, a young, talented quarterback. you have a good roster. You have a coach who doesn't know how to coach. Brandon Staley makes these dumb decisions. They're like, oh, it's the math that says it. The numbers say this. So like basic numbers, like basic NFL guys know about going for fourth down or not going for fourth down. He cost them games last year. He's already cost them a game this year. And you can say, well, the injury bug, like, listen, you can't waste a young talent like Justin Herbert and not be spending the cap at the quarterback position and not taking advantage of it.
Well, here it goes tonight, whatever, November 26th. We'll look back on it because I'll bet you lunch, my choice in Stanford, your choice in Bethel. You can have a lunch in Bethel, Connecticut. Ugh. They got some good places. They got Subway still there. But anyways, he's going to go to Arizona. He's going to Arizona.
I don't see it because I don't think Kyler Murray really is the guy we thought he is. I think he's an average quarterback.
But you look at his numbers. His numbers are not terrible. It's not terrible. I think they need somebody to go in there who can coach him up a little better. I think
top 10.
He wouldn't swear at Sean Payton like that coming off the field. You know that.
No way. Is he a top 10 quarterback?
No. But he wouldn't swear.
Is he top 15?
I give him 15 to 20, somewhere along there.
That's average. That's middle of the road.
But his numbers are not bad though. He's got 2-to-1 ratio. He's won games by himself. He's won games. There's a question going on of obviously playing the games, video games. I guess they all do it to a certain degree, but I don't know how well. But
they didn't put that in his contract, and then no backtrack on it for no reason. And if you're listening to this, he hasn't played a game since Warzone came out a couple weeks ago. So
what's wrong with him?
I have to look up.
Yeah, because I couldn't tell what he must be something. A hamstring. He's out again this week.
They already ruled him out.
Yes, I think so.
It's a hamstring, but I think he might return this week. Kyler Murray 3 days ago expects to return from hamstring. More news.
We'll see.
Let me look it up here. Good old fashioned Twitter. Kyler Murray. Now it says they should both be playing, him and Hollywood Brown.
Okay.
I don't think that they get rid of. Excuse me. I think they give it one more time.
I don't know. Those coaches' assistants really hurt him what he was doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the guy in Mexico is doing. I don't know, groping somebody and I mean, this guy's there. This is so it's
unbelievable. That should
you get. I'm sorry. The Detroit's assistant coach some years ago. Remember going through the drive-through naked? Drive-through McDonald's naked.
You gotta
give me two Whoppers and a Big Mac, sir. You got no clothes on. You can't. Yeah. I'm sure Parcells' staff they would do that in Belichick. Tom Landry, yeah.
They would fire you. They would slash your tires and tell you to walk home.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, Belichick? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, never. Yeah. So, okay, Odell Beckham. Do you want him? Do you not want him? Where's the price range for him? What are we thinking with Odell?
I'm like the last 4 years. Odell, you look at his numbers are not great. You know that. He came along and put balance on that Rams offense last year. Okay. And he helped the offense move along because of his experience. He's not a game breaker anymore. Hello, people. He's going to run routes. He's better than the Cowboys receivers, whatever that means. He's better than, Gallup and CeeDee Lamb, but he's not a game breaker anymore. Until that knee sounds like it's healthy. You know what I mean? I'm 50-50 on it. I don't know why. That's why they're winning without him. You know what I mean? And I'm not paying him big money just to come in and be the third receiver. Is he a number one? I don't think he's a number one. How could you be top? They were having him on ESPN like top 5 or something. You got to be kidding me. Not a top 5, not a top 10 receiver anymore. Look at his numbers last 4 years. Last year's only 12 yards a catch. You know that?
Right.
Yeah, 12 yards a catch.
The thing is, he doesn't need to be a number one in Dallas. You go to some place like the Giants. Well, you want you want they're going to want you to be the number one guy. You're going to have to be a savior because they're running out Kenny Galladay, God bless him, what a bum, and the corpse of Christmas past at
Well,
wide receiver.
let me say, is he going to run a post like he did against Church and beat everybody to the touchdown? Remember that touchdown against Church, Dallas, the post, boom, nobody touched him. Are we going to get that, Odell? Yes. If we got him, if you can guarantee me that guy, go for it, because that will score 50 points a game.
Yeah, I don't think right, but I think he's what he is the route runner, and because he's a route runner, he can get open, and I think he can get open in this offense, especially since he's not going to be seeing double teams. He's not going to see teams rolling coverage at him. They're going to be trying to stop CD, or because it'll be so drawn out. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, because they'll be so stretched with offensive weapons from the Cowboys, he'll be able to see slot cornerbacks. He'll be able to see one-on-ones. He'll get the best.
I get that. He's smart enough to get open. I get all that. But if I'm going to listen, I rather have. To me, I would have gave up the picks to get the guy for the Texans. He can break it.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to pay him that much, and he gets injured too.
Right? He what?
He gets injured too.
Yeah, he at least his body can dust somebody off down the field. If you can get Odell to do that like he did that awesome play against the Cowboys, Church was standing still. Just saw him run by. By the time he made a move, it was gone. Odell was in the end zone with the ball in the air.
Right.
But maybe so. Who knows? He's awesome in the uniform. And by the way, let's touch on one more thing. This is Eagles fan. People don't watch this anyways. But anyway, I'm going to say Eagles fans, the Commodores, the Conquistadors, and the Giants, you're not getting $42 million on Thanksgiving. That's only one team only, Dallas Cowboys.
Correct.
That's the rating of it. And let me tell you, the Cowboys get in the Super Bowl, they'll blast the ratings out of but this right here, for this right here, yeah, the ring, they will crush the ratings, and Jerry knows it, and the league knows it. That's what goes to show you it's not fixed. By the way, that shows you it's not fixed. Yeah.
I had someone talk about the flexing the Cowboys Colts game out.
No way.
Dolphins, whatever.
No. They did it last year. They got them out last year, or the year was it year before?
Year before.
Year before they were bad. Yeah, they were bad.
And
nobody liked that, by the way. They didn't like that.
It was the year Dak hurt his ankle.
Yeah, that they didn't like that. They still wanted them on television. Matter of fact, people were mad at the Minnesota game. They turned it off. They get blown out.
Right.
People were upset.
Cowboys blowing the doors off 40-3. They shut it off in the fourth. I remember switching channels real quick, coming back. I was like, "Where's the game?" Because it was over that fast.
Yeah, people didn't like that. Yeah.
I don't care what happens. They're not turning the Cowboys off Sunday Night Football. I don't care what the game is. I don't care. They're not doing it. Listen, there's no way. So it's the Dolphins schedule. Dolphins 49ers, I believe, was the.
And I want to apologize to Craig Mayo and Cecil Little, former classmates that I did run past and score touchdowns on from Billy Peel. I want to apologize. That was back in 1973, Rogers Park. Okay.
All right. Up to this point of the season, most impressive Cowboys so far.
It's only one of them, baby.
Okay.
Only one of them. This is it right here.
Yeah.
Only one of them. Start here. Only one. We got Parsons. Long as right now, he better be sitting down, massaging them legs, them shoulders, icing it, whatever. Right here. There's only right here. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Micah Parsons most impressive. Who's the one player who's playing well? And I have to agree with you on Micah Parsons, by the way. Who's the one player playing well who you did not think would play up to this level so far?
Listen, I know Smith come in and he's a starting left tackle. I'm not crazy about the left tackle. He belongs to guard, but he's done a decent job. He does during respect. I think the center's done well
I was
finally.
going to say Biotish too.
Yeah,
Biotish,
Biotish is finally stepping. I know he got busted a little one time, got that 340. Lawrence is a beast. But I think overall, because day one, I said, Paul, I don't like what I see here, what's going on here. And this is his first full season.
right now we have to all.
But Steele's done a great job.
He's improved it tremendously. I want to also throw out Leighton Vander Esch, who just keeps getting better week by week in his defense. I think he's definitely getting a better feel. He's not in the middle. He can he's inside more in the nickel and stuff. But you see each week now he's making more plays. I like what I've seen from him. He's not perfect still, but I definitely have been impressed more than I thought I was ready for other guys to step up and take his role. I don't think that's the truth right now. I think
the interesting thing about him, because I followed him from day one. There's games that he has made some big plays
right
in his career. Now I know they haven't won a Super Bowl, but I'm saying in regular season he's come up with some big plays in his career. Besides the injury of his neck, I think it's there somewhere. We might get a nice pick in the playoffs from him. It'd be nice to return it for a touchdown at the goal line. One of them drop back, look out there, bing, bang, bang, touchdown, Dallas, game over with. I'm gonna give you that one right there, Stephen A. Smith.
So, question: who's the one player if they don't sign Odell Beckham? Who's the one player for the Dallas Cowboys who needs to step up?
One player has to. See, I'm a DeMarcus Lawrence. I know he's got 6 sacks, whatever. He's the leader of the team. And I see him sometimes rush the passer, and it's like, you're messing up your angles, dude.
Right.
There's something that I don't get it. He's like hesitating or holding or just, and I know he's played better and he's good against the run, the whole thing. But I want Lawrence. I'm a big Lawrence guy. You know, that's from day one. I think he's high character. He plays hurt. He's got a bad foot. He's still out there playing.
Yep.
But that's the guy that I want to be the Lawrence. What's his name? Michael Strahan. I mean, Strahan had a great career, anyways. But yeah, I want Lawrence. I want Lawrence to be the guy.
I'm gonna say Anthony Brown or some cornerback.
Yeah, I listen. Brown's gonna get picked on. You got an All-Pro the other side.
Right.
They throw over there 4 times in a game. Where else they gonna go? I understand that. I have to live with that. The problem, he can't give up the big play. That's the problem with that.
You giving up a play when you're in position over the top of you. All you do is turn your head and just. He was in position for an interception. That's my big problem. Forget knocking the ball away. That should have been a minimum.
Well, here's again. I broke the play down for you, son. The receiver has the ability to stop on his right foot, to look and plant, to jump. The defensive back can't stop and turn and plant because it's impossible to do that by the time the ball's coming down, unless you're only one man can do that. His name is Deion Sanders, by the way.
Right.
I mean, because he was his body ability to he's listen, Woodson, Bailey, and the other guy, both Woodsons, whatever. They're outstanding athletes.
Yeah.
They're icons. Don't give but Deion cover guy, forget it, isn't it?
There's no one. There's no one.
Right. And that's the ability to do that. He's 5'10", Brown. See, so that's what hurt his size there. The size of your corners.
And Danton doesn't really like those size corners.
No, he doesn't like. No, he's 5'10". Yeah, he's Spencer playing corner. Come on.
That's generous to Spencer.
Okay, that's your brother playing corner. Come on.
Generous, like I said, generous. Well, we're almost done here. I'm gonna wrap it up. Want to say happy birthday to your son, my brother, Zachary. He's turning 30 today. Can't believe that. Happy birthday to my sister-in-law, married to my other brother, Spencer. It's her birthday today as well. I think she's 32.
Yep.
All correctly. So happy birthday.
31. Mommy's pointing 31.
31. She's 31 today. And listen, love them both. Hope they have a great day. We're gonna end with one Cowboy. We try to talk about one older Cowboy as each time. I know we don't always get to it because sometimes we get talking and talking. Today, the player is Billy Bates, um, all-time great special teamer. One of those guys where if you're going to start to put special teamers in the Hall of Fame, Billy Bates needs to be in that conversation. I'm not against it. You want to put in guys like Steve Tasker. You want to
Yeah, of course.
put in I forget the guy from the Patriots who's been there.
Renee Thompson and
Right.
Slater.
Slater,
So,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Matthew Slater.
Yeah.
These guys,
His father's in the Hall of Fame.
right, right. I'm not against putting these guys in because they're incredible for their positions. Billy Bates needs to be in that conversation too, if that conversation comes up. Because man, he could play, and he got 3 rings.
Yeah. And who got him in the league, by the way?
That was
Tom
Landry.
Landry. Tom
Yeah.
Landry. Yeah, got him as a free agent for Tennessee. And have a great, incredible career, and having a special teams player because of his play. Tom Landry and our buddy, what's his name? The scout, the super scout for the Cowboys. I can't think of his name. The scout for the Cowboys all those years.
Let's see.
What I can't think. What's his name? The scout.
Um,
You're gonna get mad when you say it.
not Gil Brandt.
Gil Brandt. Yeah, Gil Brandt. Yeah, Gil Brandt. Yeah, he
Not
finds these guys. Come on.
Yep.
Gil Brandt. Yeah. Yep. So it came number 4-0. That 4-0, they ran that 4-0 defense with him. He played like 6 positions on a football field.
Yeah,
It's crazy. He played middle linebacker on that passing downs.
unbelievable.
Yeah, and knocked your head off. And what was his 4.2 speed? No, I don't think so. It's called football speed.
Right,
No, in
right.
the game.
Skills, instincts,
Yeah.
studying. I don't think Ray Lewis. He was a physical freak, but he wasn't never the fastest player at his position. But man, he was so smart. He knew where to be all the time.
Exactly. Yep.
All the other things, his ability to study the game and translate it to the field was just
Oh, it's
incredible.
incredible. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Mhm.
Incredible to watch. All right, D. Well, listen, another Cowboys and Coffee podcast. We're all done. I had a great time. Let's go Cowboys. Let's watch the game and let's watch the games. Go Packers. Beat the Eagles. Let's just relax and have a good time.
I believe in Aaron Rodgers.
Let's do it. Let's get a win.
I need 4 touchdowns out of him.
Yeah, I need about 4 from Christian Watson. So,
Yeah.
all right, D. I love you. We'll talk
Love
to you
you.
soon. See you later.
All right. There you go, baby.